Okay, so today we're going to talk about importing characters and animation with animations. As you know, the challenges I'm working on, one of them is very heavy on that. The requirement was that you have to bring in your character and use this one of the one of the provided specified animations. So I found two different ways of doing this. Not so. I think the second one is within the rules. Reading the rules, there's nothing against it, but it did not use. It basically uses Cinema 4D using a Mixamo character. So that's the one I'm going to talk about first, and that was a bit tricky. What happened, but if you like Mixamo characters, I mean, you could also create your own. And the animation that they provided it wasn't attached to any kind of body. So it made it rather interesting. But let me just show you. As you can see in the corner, he's doing his little thing here. Now, there are two steps. One is to get the animation correct in Cinema, and then the second part of it was to get it into Unreal. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to bring the Cinema over, and so you can see it. Okay, so as you can see, he's doing his thing now. The skeleton that you see here is the provided one. And basically, one factor you have to be aware of, very important, is I found that if the FBX file was not in the same directory as my Cinema 4D file, you would lose all the textures on your guy. So just keep that in mind, because if you don't have it in there, you're going to get like a silhouette. So let me stop this and show you some stuff. So let's start a new project, and we're going to turn around, and I'm going to bring in the FBX here. And, oh, whoop, wrong one. That's the final one. Let's clear that out. All right. Let's bring in the original FBX. And as you can see, it's just a guy. He's in the T-pose. Now let me bring in a random animation from one of the ones that we were given. So these were just pure animation. I'm just going to grab one, and we're going to bring this in. This is also an FBX file. Oh yeah, that was another thing. You have to, if you bring them in separate, you're going to have two separate files. So what I do here is, let's give the, let's see, I need to save this in order to merge it in. Oh no, I don't have to do it that way. I can do it this way. Merge project, and I can just go to one of the random animations they provided. and just merge that in, and you can see they do come in. And one thing you have to do, and this was pointed out in an older video by Clint Jones, which is different than the method that they suggested directly into Unreal Engine. But you can see here's the issue. And let me see if I can turn this around so you can see it better. Notice that these two are not matching up exactly. So what you have to do is you have to go through and you have to take, the best thing to do is turn him off, make him invisible. Let's see, gotta go down. Best thing to actually, before we do that, we're gonna make it easy. We're gonna group these in a null. Okay. Let's see, group. Where's group? Group. And then all you have to do is turn off the null. And now you have this. What you're going to have to do, and I recommend doing it in the F5 view, which gives you all four, because you need to put the arms here in T-pose. And you might want to move the leg a little as well to bring it more to a T-pose. But you need to put this animation in a T-pose. So let me go back to the other project so as to not waste time. So once that's done, what I did here is you have to create some tags on the animation that you're running called character reference. You create a character definition. You simply bring in the bones and then set reference pose. So you do this and then do that. And same thing for our Mixamo guy. Now in the Mixamo guy, you had another tag where he's the target, because he is. When you create a, actually you do it from this tag, you can say create solver, and that creates this tag here. What you do is, this is going to have him set as a target, and then you have to drag in the character reference. Make sure when you do that, you're set here to 0. I don't think it works if it's not the case. It was a little bit fussy. So make sure you're at 0, make sure you're lined up, and then you should, it should come in, and then you have your animation. So you don't have to set up an IK rig or anything like that. And then once you have this, and I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to close these because I don't want to risk changing anything on this. No. And I'm going to close this. No. And I'm going to just close these so I don't have anything random sitting around. All right. So to bring him in here, what I did is I exported it as an FBX file. Now I found, actually I need to bring them up again to show you this. Let's see, merge animation, and okay. So you export it, I exported it as an FPS. And that was the other. If you try to do it, bringing in the Cinema 4D, it it was a mess. Or this was the what worked. Now, one thing that I know is okay. So I'm not seeing any settings for. Oh, that's because once you bring it in, when you go to bring it in, you go to import. Let's see, content browser, import. And when you go to bring this in, and I'm not gonna, no. Okay. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna ask you about the rotation and translation. This is important. Look at, see, he looked, animation. The guy came in straight, but the animation, he was lying on the ground. He was also too low. One thing they have in here that solved that problem was I set the X to 90, which made him stand up, and he was too low, so I set the Z to 15, because X, if you move up on the x-axis 90 degrees, he'll stand up. And again, 15 to get him at the right height. And then he'll come in. What you do once you set these things is you click on re-import animation, and it should be, at that point, good. So that is how you do it if you want to bring it in to into Unreal Engine in kind of a backdoor way without having to sit there and do IK rigs and retargeting and all this. There's still that kind of tedious thing of adjusting the arms, but this is one option. Now let me bring up another project, the actual project, such as I have it, and we'll talk about that. Let's see, let's open project. Let's bring in, where is it? Of course it's gonna wanna hide when I wanna show it to you. Character test, move, here it is. Let's save this before I do that, because I like the fact my guy's in there. This is my kind of a test project that I have to try stuff out without hurting the project I'm trying to work on. And it does, if you can see, it brings in a bunch of stuff with the test character, but you really only have to worry about this here, this, which is the animation, and this, the skeletal mesh, and then the sequencer, where you have to set the, you have to bring in the skeletal mesh and then set the animation to the animation. So now that everything's saved, we can open a new project, or open project rather, and we're going to bring in this one. And this will take a few seconds. And so this is the actual scene that I'm using. I haven't done anything. I kind of know what I'm going to do, but we'll see. So in this case, here is our sequence, and now this involved a third program, Blender, okay? So what I had at first was is a Metahuman. Now I've not tried the Unreal Engine one with the Metahuman, but my guess is that it will probably be pretty similar. But at any rate, here's my Metahuman, and you can see her animation worked. So there were a couple of steps. Basically, I should bring up Blender just to show you real quick. Blender. You can see could be rather complicated. So this is the second method. So bring up Blender. I'm going to bring up Blender here. And this is the default scene. And let's look at this. So basically what I did is I paired there's video on YouTube about you pair this box with the animation, and let's see how that. Let me try and see if I can remember how to do this. Basically, I'm going to start a new scene. File new. General. Okay, so the things you only really need the cube here, and then you bring in one of these random and you bring in, oh no, the cube is here. And the cube is here, the animation isn't. So let's bring that in. Why? I probably have to import it. Import FBX. And we're going to go to, okay, I want to go to my D drive. And we go to get one of my, just a random animation, doesn't matter which one. Okay, so we're back in Blender here, and we have the cube, and we've imported the animation. So what we're going to do, and I had to look this up because I forgot what I did the other day, and shift select this, select this, shift select this, and parent with automatic weights. And what should happen is, I'm not sure why that isn't working. Probably, if you notice, I'm looking at the example. Let's try this again. Let us try this again. Clear parent. Okay. Choose this first, and then this. Let's try that. I think that's... There we go. You want to see... So you want to take the animation first, and then pair the cube to it. And this may not... I don't know. It's always better to go back to 0 when you're doing this stuff like this. You can see now this cube is... So at least there's some kind of rig. Or if you just try to import the... let me turn this off. And I'm going to close this because we don't really need this. Don't save. I just want to show you. I'll show you one thing. If you have to do it this way, because if you try to bring in it's going to complain that it doesn't have, some kind of mesh. It's going to complain. Once you have that, what I did is I went into content, and you have to have the beginning stuff, so you should have the not third person, where is it? Characters, mannequins. So he's got his own animations. He's got meshes. And this is this is our mannequin. So the first thing you have to do is, did I do it in here? Yeah. Okay, I see what I did. I took I think I took Manny. But let me see what we did here. Under rigs, I think I did it here. No, maybe. Oh, I probably did it under imports. Okay. Go back. And I created first a rig. I created a rig for SK Mannequin here. And what you do, I kept it, they instructed keep it real simple. So I just did the spine, the arms, and the legs. I did the same thing with the, where's my, oh, man, that's the retargeter, the source IK. So the source IK is our little cube dude. Now, I didn't have to put him in any special pose, but I did a similar thing here. And again, this is laid out in the video they provide for us, which I should probably include a link to. And once I had these two, from the source, I created a retargeter. I think this is, where is it? Retarget 2. So I retargeted the animation to Manny. Now, I think I might have been able to do it directly to the Metahuman. I think I went through an extra step. But I did a similar thing. So we have our animations, which are, I think they're in here. No, they're under, and I think they're under animations. Let me pull this up so I can see. Yeah. Yeah, I think because we're in imports. Under imports, I also have animations, and that's where the animations are. So set it up, set him as a retarget, and then did the retargeting. So now I have an animation that's retargeted to him. And the next thing I did, I want to go back to imports, is I brought in the Metahuman. So where's my Metahumans? And I actually made a retargeting rig. And this is all the key thing here is the, let's see, is this one, F-Med normal weight body physics. That seems to be the key one. But what I did is I created under imports a retargeter for the IK rig for her, and notice it's using the let's see, it's using the preview mesh, and it's using the, I probably use the skeleton. So that would be under metahumans, female, medium, normal weight, body, metahuman base. I think it's the, look, let's move this up. The metahuman, believe the metahuman skeleton, but let me see. Oh, let me see where I did that. Because this is common, and then I have my character, body, animation. Let's see. So it's probably, it's one of these in the common. Common, female, normal weight, body, and it would be a, let's see something. Which one did I do here? You have to use their base skeleton, and I'm trying to see the easiest way to see that is, well, the key thing is knowing it's the normal weight. So I believe the way you do this is animations, IK rig, and then you choose, that's right. So this is a skeletal mesh. This, I believe, was the one I used. And this was the one I think I used as the, I guess this was the one I used because that's the one we're seeing. So anyway, I created an IK rig there, and then I created a retargeter from the rig to the mesh. So then I had the animation for her, and let's see, this was a bit more tedious, and but there were, I guess I'd say, less unexpected things maybe. Okay, so it is the preview one that I used. Yeah, I'm seeing it right here. At any rate, that's the key thing is setting them. I set it up a very similar way, and I probably could have just gone directly. And then you do the retargeting, and that retargeting will generate the metahuman. And you can see her doing her little pose there. So what I did then when we go here, we just brought in the body, we brought in the asset, and then we brought in the animation to link to the body, just like we did on previous with the metahumans, and it works. So this is kind of long, but those are two different ways you can do it. One using a metahuman, one using the Mixamo, and they'll both get you a character depending on what you want. And I think, I mean, you can do this with a Mixamo as well. There's no reason why not. What do you need? You need a skeletal mesh. You need to create the IK rig. and then you need to, um, do the retargeting. So let's go conclude by going over what we learned here. So, number one, there are some issues if you're trying to things you have to be aware of if you're trying to bring a Mixamo character into Unreal. You want to target an animation. Now, the original video, he captured some animation. You want to bring an animation in and meet it up with the Mixamo character in Unreal. You have to be aware that it is in the T-pose when you start, that the FBX of your character is in the same directory as your cinema file. At least that was my experience. Someone may know better in terms of the switch, maybe there's a switch to fix that. And then from there, it's pretty straightforward. Once you get the T-pose, they're both in T-pose, and you bring them together, and then you could do that linking that we saw where you're between the two the animation, the character, that should work. And while there are some tricks, you can import it into Unreal Engine as an FBX. Just be aware of the rotation, be aware of the height. This was a little height difference here, and there you go with that. When you're importing something directly from Metahuman into Unreal Engine, you're then dealing with creating the IK rigs and then doing the retargeting. The nice thing with the IK rig and retargeter is you do the IK rig for a character once, and you can retarget it to your heart's content. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I hope I've mentioned some things that can save you wasted time. And thank you for watching, and I will speak to you next time. Take care.